Hear this. This is a new conversation, and as this clicks into place for you, it's going to give you an understanding and therefore a new freedom that will really benefit you. So we started today by talking about how vibrations turn to thoughts and thoughts turn to things. In other words, how do you create your own reality? How do thoughts turn to things? And we're explaining to you that you through life have put a lot into your vibrational reality that has become a bigger and bigger and bolder and riper and readier reality for you to live. But you've got to be in the receiving mode of it. And so we've said to you some time ago, just get into the vortex. You've got to be a match to what's in your vortex in order for you to live in what you want to call manifested terms, what's in your vortex. And while many of you were able to accept that there is a vibrational reality, we began hearing from you things like, well, how do I get the money out of the vortex and into the bank? I accept that it exists, but so what? It existing and not being out here where I can play with it isn't very satisfying. And so we began giving you more understanding of how it's about you setting your receiver to the frequency of the transmitting vortex. You've got to have your frequencies line up, which means you have to be expectant of what's in there, or you cannot experience it. And so then we began talking more and more about you being the reason that these vibrational thoughts are turning more and more to accessible, seeable, hearable, smellable, tastable, touchable things. So as you begin to get the sense of how this process of becoming happens, then you are not only the receiver of more of the things that you want, but you get often into this sweet spot of consciousness where you're feeling good and ideas are flowing and you're having rendezvous and good timing and fun, and you feel sure-footed and you feel like you've got the world by the tail, because you do, and your life keeps turning out better and better and better and better for you, because you're no longer blocking all of the things that are making their way into your experience. So we talk about the joy in the journey, but we don't just mean putting up with the endless journey on your way to a slow manifesting desire. We mean really enjoying how you keep asking and you keep allowing, and with each thing you allow, then there's a new asking, so that your desires continue to evolve, because you never get it done and you can't get it wrong. And it just feels so good when you feel that clarity. And there's nothing that makes you feel more blessed or more worthy than to have had an idea and then to have tended to the idea until it is manifested. There's nothing that makes you feel more worthy or more blessed or more satisfied than to have looked into the world, made your choices about what you prefer, and then see that with the power of your own ability to focus both your mind and your emotions, that you can be in the place where life just gets better for you. And then and only then do you begin living the way you intended to live when you came into this physical body to begin with. That's who you are. That's what you expected. That's what you planned. And until you're living that way, you're not ever going to be satisfied. It must be that way for you. Life helps you to know that you want something. At first, you're not a good vibrational match to it, because it was the absence of it that made you even aware that you wanted it. But you minded your mind. You paid attention to the way you felt. You deliberately controlled your thinking a little bit. You cared about the way you feel. You felt better and better. You spent more time in meditation. You looked for more positive aspects. You thought more about the things that made you feel good, and you thought less about the things that didn't make you feel good. You found your footing. You started feeling good, and then thoughts began occurring to you, and those thoughts began manifesting, and your timing got better and better, and you knew you were doing it. You knew that with just a little bit of effort, far less than it takes to learn QuickBooks on your computer, you've got this going on, and your life is reflecting the improvement in your vibration. And now you are the deliberate creator of your own experience. So then this wonderful thing happens, because you become one of those who is creating deliberately and not so fixated on the outcome, just enjoying the process of the never-ending becoming. Because what you notice is, as soon as you get something that you've been wanting, you begin to want something else. So there's always going to be that somewhat of a gap between your giving birth to it and it gestating and you receiving it and it coming into full manifestation. You're not ever going to be standing in a position where you've got a whole pile of everything you want all around you. You're not ever going to get there. It is not the nature of eternal beings. There's always going to be something new that you've asked for that you're on the way to. There's always going to be something more that you've asked for that you're on the way to. There's always going to be something more that you've asked for that you're on the way to. And it's the on the way to that's life. It's on the way to it. It's on the way to it that is that sweet spot. It's on the way to it. It's on the way to it. It's the unfolding of it. That's why everyone who has ever existed, that's why all of us are all focused forward with all of you right here and now. This is the leading edge. This is where manifestation is occurring. This is the happening ground of creation. This is where it is. And we're all focused there with you. And when you stop leaving it to someone else and you stop pouting about what's not happening to you and you take your own bull by the horns and you acknowledge that you are the creator of your own experience and you let the energy that creates worlds flow through you, now you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Now you're living life the way you've intended. Now life is the way you meant for it to be. Now you got it going on. Now that's the way you mean to be. In the state of eternal becoming, conscious becoming. I saw it. I wanted it. I wasn't aligned with it. I felt better. I focused my mind. I felt ease about it. I allowed it. It happened. It happened. It happened. It happened. It happened. Things are always working out for me. This is the way you mean to feel. This is the way the larger part of you does feel. So, but much of the world, instead of looking for that sweet spot and finding it and reveling in the creative process, most are looking at the results of what others have done. So they're sifting manifested stuff into piles and complaining that their pile's not bigger, that somebody else's pile is too big, completely missing the point of creation and offering their attention to it in the action form instead of into the mind thought form that is really where it's at. You following? So much action applied after the fact of sloppy creation, trying to compensate for sloppy creations through action and then failing. That's what most people are doing, instead of getting out ahead of it and thinking the thought that will allow it to be. If you're looking at what is right now, first of all, we love you so much, you're looking at past tense. But if you are caring about the way you feel, now you're tending to what's actively going on. And now you get to be in on, and it's what you want so much. It's what you came for so much. You get to be in on the turning of the thought to the thing. You get to be in on the turning of the thought to the thing. You've already chosen the way you want these things to turn out. And now you're in on witnessing the universal forces assisting you, agreeing with you, supporting you, mandating you, blessing you. You see, so good to be physically focused. And it's so good to be non-physically focused. And it's so good to be witnessing this eternal, expanding, creative experience. We are all eternal beings. It's time for you to, instead of trying to prove your worthiness, just feel worthy. Instead of trying to explain what went wrong, just let it go right. Instead of worrying about the stuff that's not happening, focus on the stuff that is happening, and the stuff that isn't happening will start to happen when you focus on the stuff that is happening. If we could just zap you all with a worthy stick, we would. But there isn't anything that will cause you to feel more worthy than to have wanted something you don't have and felt yourself give birth to the idea of it and then to doubt it. And then to recognize that you were doubting it and then do something about that doubt, either by ignoring it, changing the subject, or by speaking general enough about it until you began to soften your resistance about it. And then to feel the ease sweep over you and begin to feel yourself believing it. Do you know that there is as much movement in you moving from doubt to belief as there is from something turning from a thought to a thing? The big movement is in you moving from doubt to belief, or just from doubt to not thinking about it. Because if you're not thinking a thought of doubt, it will prove itself to you and you will believe it. Ooh. So when you say, show it to me and then I'll believe it, we say, okay, just stop thinking about it for a little while and we'll show it to you. And then you can believe it. How about that? Show me and then I'll believe it. Okay, but you got to stop thinking about it altogether, because every time you think about it, law of attraction's got you over there where you were last. And where you were last was doubt. And as long as you're focused on it in doubt, you're not letting it move. So if you can stop thinking about it, we'll show it to you. That's the way the universe is working with you. So?
Focus. Pre-paving.
So it's not just focusing thought, it's focusing emotion. It's thinking for the purpose of the emotional response to your thought. That's really what you're about. Thinking with attention to the emotional response to your thought. So for a while now, do you know about focus wheels? We were teaching a focus wheel as a way to help you take a thought that you felt pretty good about and then sort of round up other thoughts that supported it. That was the purpose of the focus wheel. So we talked about the merry-go-round in the playground, how the kids are on it and they've got it going really fast, and if you try to get on, you just get spun off into the bushes. You can't get on. But if they would slow down enough that you could get on and then speed it up, then you can have a good time. So the idea of the focus wheel was to take some thought that you already believe and focus on it, and then as it speeds up, then that thought will give you more benefit because there's more momentum in that thought. So recently, as Esther's been doing focus wheels, where she used to do focus wheels in order to improve a thought that wasn't feeling very good, now she uses focus wheels just to improve or increase the momentum of an already good feeling thought. So Esther's focus wheels these days are only about things that are already really easy to feel good about. And she writes it right in the middle. I feel so good about, and she'll put ... and then she writes all the things she feels good about. And just goes around and around and around and around and around until she focuses on what already feels good, until she gets that momentum of what feels good going. And do you know a momentum of what feels good going, you know what it does to the things that you've been worried about? It blows them off the track. In other words, they can't both be active at the same time. So it's focusing deliberately for an improvement in the way you feel. Let's say you feel satisfied about something. You're just feeling sort of peaceful and good about something. So you just focus on it. Well, if you stay focused upon this for a while, let's say you're making a list of the things that you feel good about, what will happen is that feeling of peaceful and calm and satisfied, feeling good, will start to feel like eagerness. It will start to feel like enthusiasm. You'll begin to feel passion about it. You'll feel happier and more excited about it. So that's a already positive thought that has little or no resistance, now gaining enough momentum that it has true power. You kind of get the sense of this? That's where most of you are at these days. You know the difference between something that feels good and something that doesn't feel good. And we want you to know that the things that don't feel good, it's not about the lover that left you. It's not about the job you didn't get. It's not about the money you don't have. It's not about the condition you think you're living. The negative emotion that you feel is always, always, always because you're focused upon this in a way that your inner being is not. And so you have, by your attention to this and by your attitude and choice of the way you're looking at it, you have caused separation between you and your inner being, and that's what you're suffering over. You're not suffering over the loss of money or the loss of a lover or the loss of anything. You're suffering over the pinching off of the resources that feel so good when they are there. And for those like you, the more that you are allowing, deliberately allowing connection to who you are, the more you can't bear it when you are not in full connection.
So lists of positive aspects and things that you appreciate, making pages of those are obviously very good.
Did you hear him? Making lists of positive aspects, writing pages of things that you feel good about is helpful. And we say it's only helpful if you're feeling good when you are making the list. If you wake up and you're ornery and you say, I need to write some positive aspects about some things. Well, every subject is two subjects. So every time you write what you think is a positive aspect, what you really do is activate either the absence of it or a negative aspect. The momentum has to be moving in the direction of feeling good before you turn on the gas.
Okay. Okay. The funny story.
Yeah.
I was walking my dog, and I was talking to Source.
Yeah.
I'll try to get it closer
Yeah.
here. And I said, Source, inner being.
And the dog said, what? You talking to me?